She was just a delivery girl in a foreign land, mocked, ignored, and unseen, until one bold moment changed everything. What started as a regular food drop turned into a life neither of them saw coming. Sit tight and enjoy. Angela woke up before the sun. Her tiny room in Seoul was cold, but she didn't mind. She had work to do. Lots of work. She looked at her phone, 3 missed calls from the restaurant already. Again, she whispered. She dressed up immediately, pulled on her helmet, and zipped up her jacket. It was old and torn on the sides, but it kept her warm enough. Angela was a delivery girl. She worked for one of the biggest restaurants in Seoul. Every day, she rode her scooter through rain, sun, and even snow just to deliver food on time. People ordered expensive dishes, but they never smiled at her. Sometimes they laughed at her accent. Sometimes they whispered things she wasn't supposed to hear. But Angela was tough. She didn't cry easily. She didn't shout or complain. She just rode her scooter and kept her head down. She needed money. Her rent, her brother's school in Nigeria, and food, every one she made had a purpose. One day, she looked at the building ahead and sighed. It was the tall tech company again, the one where the workers never smiled at her. She carried the food box inside and waited at the front desk. The receptionist looked her up and down. Delivery again? Can't they send someone who looks better? Angela didn't speak. She just smiled a little, placed the food on the counter, and turned to leave. But deep inside, something was starting to break. That day, she felt it. Something different was going to happen. And it did. Angela's scooter stopped in front of the building again. Same place. Same cold looks. She carried the food bag and walked through the glass doors. The elevator wasn't working, so she took the stairs. By the time she reached the 5th floor, she was sweating. She stepped into the open space office. Bright lights, clean desks, people typing on their computers. And then, silence. "Look who's here again," a voice said. Angela turned. It was Miho, the guy with slicked back hair and a loud laugh. He always found a way to embarrass her. "Why do you people always come here looking like this?" he said loudly. "Do they not teach dressing in your country?" People laughed. Angela clenched her fists. Her heart pounded in her chest. But this time, she didn't walk away. She turned to face him. And her voice, strong and clear, filled the room. "Do they not teach respect in yours?" The laughter stopped. "I may be a delivery girl, but I work hard. Every single day. I ride in the rain, in the cold. I help feed people like you who think money means manners." Her accent was thick, but her words were sharp. People stared. Angela dropped the bag on the counter and walked out. But up on the 7th floor, someone was watching. Behind a tall glass window, a man stood still. His name was Jisoo. He was the CEO. And at that moment, he didn't see a delivery girl. He saw fire. And he couldn't look away. Angela walked fast down the stairs. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear this time. It was anger. She had never talked back before. But something about today just snapped inside her. When she reached outside, it was raining. She didn't have an umbrella. She didn't care. She got on her scooter, turned the key, and zoomed away. Up in the tall building, Jisoo stood still, staring through the glass. He had never seen someone speak with that kind of courage. He wasn't the type to get distracted. He was young, rich, serious, and always in control. People respected him and feared him. But this girl, this delivery girl with the dark skin and bold voice, she shook something in him. He pressed a button on his desk phone. "Who is the girl who delivered lunch just now?" he asked. Angela, his assistant, replied. "She's a regular delivery staff from JN Restaurant. Start ordering lunch from there every day," he said. "Every day?" "Yes, every single day." The next day, Angela was back at the restaurant before sunrise. She didn't speak much. Just packed the orders, scanned the names, and set out. Then she saw it. Jisoo Tech Tower, 7th floor. She blinked. That floor was new. Usually, she delivered to the 5th. But the slip clearly said 7. She took the elevator this time. Her heart raced. Her hands felt sweaty inside her gloves. The doors opened. The floor was silent and clean, with a big desk at the end. And then she saw him. The man standing by the window. Black suit, hands in his pockets. He turned and looked at her. His eyes were kind, but sharp. Angela froze. "You're early," he said. She nodded. "Yes, sir." He walked up to her slowly. "Thank you for your work." Angela was shocked. No one had ever thanked her before, not like that. She handed over the food. "Enjoy," she whispered. Then she walked away. Jisoo watched her go and smiled. Angela told herself not to think about him. He was just a customer. A rich CEO. The kind of man who dates models and wears cologne that costs more than her rent. Still, every day, the order came in same time, same floor. Jisoo never said much. Just a smile. A thank you. Sometimes a light joke about the food. But Angela could feel something strange in the air. He looked at her like she was more than just a delivery girl. One night, her manager called. "We got a complaint about you," he said. Angela's heart dropped. "From who?" "Some man from Jisoo Tech said you dropped the food late." "That's not true." "I know. But the man wants to speak to you in person." Angela showed up at the restaurant the next evening. And there he was standing at the counter like any normal customer. "Jisoo." Angela frowned. "You made a complaint?" He smiled. "I needed a reason to see you." She blinked. "You're crazy." "Maybe. Or maybe I just want to know your name." Beyond the delivery slip. "Angela." "Angela," he repeated slowly. "Beautiful name." She rolled her eyes and walked away. But her heart was beating like a drum. It was raining again. Angela hated riding in the rain. Her brakes were weak. Her tires slippery. But she had no choice. She had deliveries to make, and Jisoo's order was one of them. She rode carefully through the narrow streets. The sky was dark. Her helmet visor was foggy. Then screech. Her scooter slid. She tried to stop, but it was too late. She fell hard on her side. Her knees burned. Her elbow was bleeding. She groaned, trying to stand. Then, headlights. A black car stopped. The door opened. And out came Jisoo. Angela blinked through the rain. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "I followed the GPS." "You're stalking me now?" I was worried. He helped her up, gently holding her wrist. "You need a doctor." "I'm fine." "You're bleeding." I said I'm fine. He opened the car door. "Please, Angela. Just for today, let me help you." She looked at him, his wet hair, his worried eyes. For once, she nodded. And he smiled like she had just said yes to forever. Angela sat quietly in the back seat of the car. Jisoo didn't say a word. He just drove. The city lights blurred past the window, and her knee throbbed with pain. She tried not to show it. They stopped at a quiet clinic. The doctor treated her knee, cleaned her cuts, and handed her a painkiller. "Nothing's broken," the doctor said. "But you should rest." Angela stood up. "Thank you." Jisoo followed her out. Rain had stopped. The street was calm. He opened his umbrella and held it above both of them. "You didn't have to do all this," she said. "I know," he said. "But I wanted to." Angela paused. "Why?" "You ask a lot of questions," he smiled. "I deliver food. It's my job to ask where and when." He laughed softly. It was the first time she heard him laugh. Warm. Honest. Not like the cold laughs from the office staff. Angela sighed. "I should get home." "I'll take you," he offered. "No." "At least let me get you a new scooter." "No." "Why not?" "Because I don't want to owe anyone anything." Jisoo looked at her with quiet respect. "You're strong." Angela turned to leave. He called after her, "Angela, next time, just let me in a little." She walked into the night without answering. But her heart had already started to open. The next few days, Angela didn't go to work. She was still feeling the pain in her knee, and her scooter was in the shop. She stayed in her room, reading, eating noodles, and watching the rain. Then came a knock. She opened the door and gasped. Jisoo was standing there, holding food. "What are you doing here?" "You've been gone." I got worried. "Did you follow me home?" "No," he smiled. "I asked the restaurant. They told me." "That's worse." "Maybe," he said. "But I brought food. Can I come in?" Angela hesitated. Her room was tiny. Bare walls. One mattress. A single chair. But she nodded. Jesus stepped in, looking around but saying nothing. He placed the food on the floor. I didn't know what you liked, so I brought everything. Angela sat cross-legged. He sat beside her. They ate quietly. Then he asked, "Why do you work so hard?" She stared at him. "I send money home. My brother is still in school. I pay the rent. And I want to prove something." "Prove what?" "That I'm not small. That I'm more than just a girl on a bike." Jason nodded. "You are." They didn't say much after that. But something deep had changed between them. They were no longer strangers. They were becoming something else. Angela returned to work the following Monday. Her coworkers at the restaurant looked at her differently. One girl whispered, "Is it true the CEO of Jisu Tech took you to the hospital?" Angela said nothing. She didn't owe anyone explanations. But the truth spread faster than fire. And when she arrived at Jisu Tech that afternoon, something felt off. People weren't laughing anymore. They were watching. Even Miho, the guy who mocked her, said nothing as she walked past. She felt strange. As she waited for the elevator, a voice called out, "Angela." She turned. It was Jisu, standing in the lobby, in front of everyone. He walked straight up to her. "Come with me," he said. She followed him into the elevator. They went up, past the 7th floor, all the way to the rooftop. The door opened. The air was cool and fresh. Jisu stood near the edge, looking at the city. Then he turned to her. "Angela, I like you." She froze. He took a step closer. "You don't have to say anything now. I just wanted you to know." She looked at him, silent, confused, heart pounding. And in that moment, she smiled. Just a little. But Jisu saw it. And his eyes lit up like the Seoul skyline behind him. That night, Angela couldn't sleep. His words kept echoing in her head. "I like you." No one had ever said that to her like that before. Not as a joke. Not in secret. Not in pity. But real. Brave. In the open. She turned on her phone and scrolled through her gallery. A blurry photo of her brother. A picture of her old neighborhood in Lagos. And now, she had a memory she couldn't scroll past. Jisu's eyes when he said those words. She didn't want to fall for him. He was rich. Busy. From a different world. But her heart didn't care. And that scared her. The next day, she tried to act normal. Back to deliveries. Back to silence. But when she reached the tech company, something unexpected happened. Miho, the arrogant staff, blocked her path. He stepped close and said, "So you think you're better than us now?" Angela stepped back. "Move. You think sleeping with the CEO makes you special?" People gathered around. Phones were out. Whispers spread. Angela's hands shook. Then another voice. Louder. Sharper. "Miho." It was Jisu. He walked right into the middle of the crowd. "You're fired," he said calmly. "What?" "I said you're fired. Pack your things." "But you just insulted a woman in front of witnesses." Miho's mouth fell open. Jisu turned to everyone. "This woman has more heart, more courage, and more strength than most people I've hired. You don't have to like her, but you will respect her." Angela stood still. Tears filled her eyes, but none fell. For the first time, someone had stood up for her. And it felt like the world had changed. Angela walked out of the building with her head held high. The sky was blue. The sun was out. But her chest felt even brighter. She had never imagined a day would come when someone would defend her like that. Especially not in public. Especially not someone like Jisu. When she reached her scooter, she sat on it but didn't start it. She just sat there, remembering everything. The laugh from Miho. The silence of the crowd. Jisu's voice cutting through it like thunder. You will respect her. She had never been anyone people respected before. Until now. Her phone buzzed. A message from Jisu. Are you okay? She smiled. And for the first time in months, she replied. Yes, because of you. Jisu couldn't focus on work. His office was filled with charts, numbers, business calls, but none of it mattered. All he could think about was Angela. Her eyes. Her strength. Her quiet fire. She had no idea how rare she was. He had met models, businesswomen, and even actresses. But none of them had her heart. He replayed the moment in his head, how she didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't beg. She just stood still, calm, even as Miho tried to tear her down. That kind of power couldn't be taught. It was born. He looked at the photo on his desk. His mother. She had been a single mom, a tough woman who built her life with nothing. Angela reminded him of her. His phone buzzed. It was her reply. Yes, because of you. He didn't smile. He beamed. Then he made a decision. He was going to show her how serious he was. No more games. No more watching from windows. It was time. Angela arrived home after a long day. Her scooter was acting up again. Her legs ached. But her mind was far away. She kept thinking about Jisoo. The way he looked at her like she mattered. Like she wasn't invisible anymore. Then there was a knock. She opened the door. And froze. A brand new red scooter stood in front of her. A soft ribbon tied to the mirror. And next to it, Jisoo, holding a helmet. I said no gifts, she whispered. This isn't a gift, he said. It's a thank you. For being you. I still can't accept it. He held out the helmet. Then let's ride together. One time. Angela stared at him. Then took the helmet. They rode through the city that night. Him driving. Her holding on. Laughing for the first time in what felt like forever. The wind in her face. The sound of the engine. The soft hum of her heart waking up. Something was changing. And she wasn't afraid anymore. The next day, Angela got a call from the restaurant. Her manager's voice was shaky. Angela, I need to tell you something. She sat up straight. What happened? There's a rumor going around. That you're dating the CEO of Jisoo Tech. Angela's heart skipped. It's not like that, she said quickly. We're just... I don't care, he said. But the owner's wife found out. She says you're bringing attention to the business. What does that mean? She's letting you go. Angela blinked. You're firing me? I'm sorry. It's not my call. Her hands started to shake. She had worked there for 2 years. Rain or shine. No sick days. No complaints. And now? Because of a rumor? Because of love? She ended the call without saying goodbye. The room was quiet. Then her phone buzzed again. It was Jisoo. Want to grab lunch? She stared at the message. Her job was gone. Her pride felt bruised. But somehow, her heart still wanted to say yes. She typed back 2 words. I'm coming. Angela didn't know what she would say. Her job was gone. She had nothing to offer him now, no delivery bag, no uniform, no excuse to show up and see his face. Just herself. But maybe that was enough. She wore her cleanest dress, tied her braids neatly, and took a deep breath before stepping into the rooftop garden restaurant Jisoo had mentioned. The place was quiet, peaceful, full of soft lights, plants, and the sound of jazz music. Jisoo was already seated, no suit this time. Just a simple white shirt, rolled sleeves, and a nervous smile. She walked over slowly. Hey, he said. Angela Saturday, hey. He looked at her gently. You okay? She nodded, then paused. I lost my job. His eyes sharpened. What? They said I was drawing too much attention. Because of you. He looked guilty. Angela, I'm so. Don't be, she cut in. I'm not ashamed. I'd rather lose a job than lose myself. Jisoo reached across the table and held her hand. You didn't lose anything. You just made space for something better. She looked at him, confused, curious. Then he stood and signaled. The lights dimmed. The back curtains opened. And behind them was a glowing, cozy restaurant. The sign above the door read, Angela's Place, where every bite tells a story. Her jaw dropped. I bought this place last month, he said softly. I wanted to surprise you, but now feels like the right time. She stood, speechless. This is your restaurant, he said. Your menu. Your story. Your dream. Tears filled her eyes. Why would you do this for me? He stepped closer. Because from the first moment I saw you, I knew I was looking at the kind of woman people write love stories about. Strong, kind, brave, and beautiful. She smiled through tears. And what do you get out of this? She whispered. He leaned in. The chance to love you. Every day. For the rest of my life. Angela laughed. Cried. nodded. And then she kissed him. Not just because he gave her a restaurant, but because he saw her before anyone else did. And from that moment on, the delivery girl became not just a CEO's love, but the love of his life. And the woman who owned the city, one story, one plate, one dream at a time. That was another tale from Folktales by Blizzy, where stories leave forever. If it made you smile and feel, please like, share, and subscribe.